live from the van,
Are we
and
live?
with us from LA, we have the Berg.
That's right.
Well,
Hey, this
you can see the light shining down on my essence. It's God's essence, God's light shining into my heart chakra, awakening all the beautiful, wonderful spirits and bullshit in my life.
absolutely.
What do you think? What do you think of this light, this ray of light? Where'd you go? We lost him. That's great. All right, we were goddamn rays of light. Ask him where he went. Well, we have one watching. That's good. This was supposed to be alive with. There he is. Is he back? All right, he's back.
Yo.
Yo, where'd you go?
Oh, the sound was like not cooperating, so now it's better.
Oh, okay. Well, anything new to report from the West Coast?
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm just doing my best, man. I don't know. How are you feeling?
Oh, well, I took a little bit of Klonopin, so I'm in a slightly better mood. You know, got some social validation from people through texts, raised the dopamine a bit. It's all temporary. I'll be back down in the pits soon. Don't worry. I'll be my good old gloomy self.
You got to get back on social media if you really want that dope, dude.
Oh no, dude, that's like going into the crack den where like you just end up crashing.
Yeah.
You burn your senses out, so like you can't get it doesn't hit the same anymore. You gotta rinse out and lower your tolerance.
So what you're telling me is you're in like a rehab center for social media right now? That's what the van is?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm deactivated my Instagram. I've deactivated my Facebook. There was never really anything interesting going on there anyway. But
yeah,
I'll tell you, man, YouTube and Craigslist is where it's at. All right, like, you wanna be real about it.
wow, Craigslist. I don't think I've used Craigslist in like at least 10 years. So.
And that's the thing. I mean, I use it for business, but just saying, like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you haven't used it in 10 years. It kind of like went downhill. So now it's sort of an empty platform, which means that it can start accumulating interesting people again. Then when it becomes oversaturated, it'll just be like, everything else was. But it's an interesting platform. I think it's an interesting platform if you're using it for business anyway.
I think it would be cool to bring back MySpace. I think that's what we should try to do.
Yeah. What was that guy, Tom?
Tom, yeah, Tom was the your first friend on MySpace.
It wasn't really him. I know it was the computer.
Yeah, it was him for sure, dude. It was the real guy, yeah.
Yeah, he really was adding me himself. I don't buy it.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to be friends with you in particular.
Whatever happened to Tom?
I don't know. It's a good question. We should figure that out. Tom, if you're in the stream, show your face. Give us an update.
Sadly, MySpace couldn't keep up with the Zuckerberg's fancy Facebook, and Tom sold the website to News Corp in 2005 for a cheeky $580 million.
Wow.
Before retiring in 2009, the now 47-year-old is pretty much living out all our dreams in Hawaii and has pursued a whole new career as a travel photographer. Travel photographer? Who the fuck would? I mean, he's probably doing it for himself more than anything else. Like, travel photographer.
How much was he? How much did you say the MySpace sale was for?
580 million.
Okay.
Oh, geez. You don't come across that money every day.
Yeah, well, I think the social media platforms of today are worth tens of billions.
No kidding. How much was the Twitter deal?
Oh, I'm not sure. I want to say 6 billion.
Billion. Oh my God. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
man. It's no
I get
joke.
excited. I get excited when I see $100.
Yeah. Or the ruling class doesn't have the same relationship to money as nearly anyone else.
No, I don't really. This is why I think it's actually a conspiracy. There really isn't that much money because why would they continue to work? What is the point?
Right. Right.
That's not like normal person would not keep work. Like, yeah, if I had that money, I'd probably still do stuff. I'd have my hobbies, but like, I mean, I guess they don't really work, because they own the company and they have everyone doing the work for them, but they take like the clout of being the company owner. So it's like, it seems like they're working, but they're probably not working that much.
No, no. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see a breakdown of like what does Elon Musk actually do during the day? What does his job entail? What does it mean to be the CEO of a company?
Yeah. Well, he's got plenty of time to knock ladies up.
Is he knocking some up?
I think he's having a lot of children, which is pretty unfortunate.
So anybody in the chat, anybody got anything to say? Vegan for Animals says, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, they sent that before we even went live, so I don't really. There must have been a thing saying that the stream was like gonna happen, or I don't know, but yeah, there's two people in the chat.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? I'll put the link to the StreamYard in here. And dude, I went sorry, I had to blow my nose. I went yeah, so if you want to join the stream, feel free to click the link in the comment section. I went on one of these channels earlier. I just saw a random ass fucking live stream happening. I don't know how it happened, just popped up on the YouTube feed. And I went in there and there's like 3 people talking on the stream, a few people in the comments, but I started like they were talking about homelessness and poverty and the drug problem and everything. And I started like asking leading questions, sort of trying to get basically, lead the conversation into antinatalism, which I kind of successfully did because they ended up inviting me onto the stream.
Nice.
And it turns out it was one of these the Black community or the African American community, you know, it was their sphere, right? Like basically when I came on the stream, the host was like, "Oh, he's a pilgrim," right? And I was like, "Oh, okay, they're calling me a pilgrim, I guess." That's like I don't know. I guess that they didn't expect me to be a white person because maybe that. And she was saying stuff about how she would later, after I left the stream, she was like talking about how she really cares about, she really only is worried about her own people and like helping out the black community. um I thought it was just interesting, and I know like that is something that we need to support. But yeah, they like, it was just interesting being called like pilgrim. And then like they were saying like they only she only like cares about, but she was very sympathetic to a lot of the stuff that I was talking about. There was other people in the call who were like really, like, they were all listening to me. They were all being really chill and like understanding of what I was saying. And it was cool because they had never, I don't think they'd ever encountered the idea of antinatalism or the right to die or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. I just never been called pilgrim before because I'm white.
Yeah. Did they give any feedback on antinatalism or your ideas?
Um, so one of them kind of just stayed quiet the whole time. The other one, like, the topic of suicide did come up. Uh, and she was like really cool. She had like, I guess, used to be a mental health worker, so she like was kind of talking to me in that way and was very understanding and validating my feelings. Um, she's like, yeah, I don't have children. I'm glad I don't, because I would have never wanted to bring them into this world. The other one, who was more quiet, was kind of like, just like, yeah, I'd never thought about it that way before. She didn't really make any remarks about it other than that. And this guy that was in there was saying like, he was just like really adamant about like that I'll go to hell if I kill myself, and like, it doesn't, and that the government wants me to kill myself because they'll cash in my birth certificate or whatever and get money off of that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I met guys like that in prison. They sort of, that's like kind of a sovereign citizen belief. That's one of the foundational beliefs, is like
Yeah,
they believe that your social security number is actually a bank account number.
right.
Someone was explaining this to me. It didn't make any sense, but
And I've
yeah,
never seen any evidence for that.
yeah, it seems. But anyway, a lot of proponents of that theory, and yeah, they believe that your account has hundreds of thousands of dollars in it.
If not millions.
Right.
Yeah, and
So,
then I don't know, there's people that set up like workshops, or they sell tickets to like teach people how to access their, I don't know, how to cash in their birth certificate, or like I don't even understand it. I think it's so much bullshit. I've never met a single person. I've met people that have spent dumb money going to these seminars, but I've never met anyone who's actually like cashed in their fucking birth certificate. And they're always, the people that I talk to, gone to them, they're like, I'm this close. I'm this close. I'm like, really, dude?
yeah, there's similar workshops for like sort of tax evasion strategies. They believe that like you're not required to pay taxes, and so a few of them have ended up in federal prison for like following these sorts of tax evasion strategies by sovereign citizens.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, yep. But what was cool is they all those people agreed with me on when I said that the government is a mafia.
Yeah, that's
And that we're all tax cattle.
okay.
They were definitely open to that.
Yeah. So what do you got going on today, Nick? What do you have
Uh,
planned?
I gotta drag my ass out of this van at some point and do like a real workout.
Yeah.
I I I got up at one point like early. I was in the gym at like 5:45 to use the bathroom, and I decided to just do like one superset,
Hmm.
like five or not one super, but I did like actually like 5 sets of like one particular superset exercise. So just like get a pump and feel like I did something early in the morning, but then I came back to the van and yeah, but probably as soon as this stream is over, I'll go and do a more vigorous workout.
Nice, dude. You spend any time at the beach out there? Are there nice beaches?
I don't know. I don't really care about the beach that much.
Okay, okay. I thought you were kind of.
I would if it was like I'm not crazy about the beach. Like the only beach I've been to that I enjoy in Florida was at like Key Biscayne, and like I think I'd probably like the beaches in the Keys and Key West and stuff like that. I haven't been all the way down there, but I think that's like probably where I would like the beach because
Yeah,
it's you know yeah
dude. Yeah, I grew up in Virginia Beach, and so like, um, the beach there has like a very like community pool kind of feel. It's like it's kind of gross. Like it's just like a tourist trap gathering of people. It's yeah. It's
yeah
just kind of have a bad association with the beach now because of that.
yeah yeah exactly. And the water's kind of gross on the Gulf side. I don't really like the Gulf.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. So so any plans to like travel? Where do you want to go next?
I don't know, man. I will probably I'll probably head up to Sarasota, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
And then I guess there's like stuff that I'll be doing back in Miami for a little bit in January, and then I'll head to I don't know somewhere else after that. I don't even know if I'll necessarily stay in Florida. I've never been to like Texas.
Texas is I would say Texas is not worth going to, but
Okay, good to
I
know.
mean it's something to cross off your list maybe. I mean,
Uh,
I've definitely done traveling like that too, where I've just gone to places just to go there. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, dude. It's like, I mean, everywhere is just kind of boring.
Yeah, there's
You know?
not much left for me in the US and I want to do some international travel, but actually one of my fears around international travel is that I'll reach the same conclusion I've reached in the US. Like
Yeah,
this is a dead end. There's nothing here. I don't know though. I think the US is particularly empty. I think the US is just like God's guns and liquor stores, like fast food, like we talked about yesterday, like fast food gas stations, and the people think it's great, and the people think it's freedom, and the people think there's nothing else out there. I would hope to go to Europe or Greece, somewhere with history that, they might think this is like, because almost everyone I talk to universally, every European I've ever talked to thinks Americans are just violent, like idiotic, like just the worst fucking people on the planet. And it's kind of true, hopefully. I mean, in my experience, it's true, but I also haven't been enough places to know. So my hope is in going to Europe or somewhere else like that, I'll experience more humanity.
Oh, yes, I agree with you, Joseph, and I also would like to travel more outside the country. I'm actually looking forward to maybe doing Southeast Asia at some point soon. But in the chat, one of the people from that stream I was telling you about earlier said, "Hi, Nick, just subbed." This this woman was very kind and really enjoyed talking with her. Very understanding and validating person. So thank
Awesome.
you, sub Angie, and feel free to come on the stream if you ever feel like it. The link is in the chat. But
Yeah,
yeah,
anybody who wants to jump on. Yeah.
yeah. We were just, I don't know how much of that you caught, but we were talking about how basically America is just like you said, a dead end. It's just like there's not much going on here in terms of like being really entertaining or like thought provoking. I mean, I go a lot of places here, right? I mean, I've driven around a lot, and maybe it's just me. It's probably just me, but I can't connect with people here, you know? I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably like there is I do have a bit of introversion sometimes in that regard, but I don't feel like when I go around places, I don't feel like I can just talk to people or that there's anything that I'm going to have to say to anyone. You know what? I mean, what do people even talk about?
Yeah,
Like,
I've been together. Yeah, when I go out recently, that's been something that's come up a lot. Is I've noticed that when people engage, they're talking about their careers, their work lives. Like it's all stuff that I see as meaningless. I don't really want to engage in that way, and I don't want to make small talk. And I don't know. I find that when I do meet people that I find interesting or have, that I actually want to engage with, it's usually people that are coming from extreme suffering. Like, James Baldwin talks about two Americas. Well, man, I go and I go in the cities and I talk to the homeless people, or I'll drive around Skid Row. Like one of the favorite road trips that I ever did was like driving around Navajo Nation and driving around like these reservations. I mean, if you explore America enough, man, you'll see all kinds of third world conditions. You'll see like all kinds of suffering. You'll see, go to the Black community, see what those people have to endure. Like, go to any Native American reservation. Like, you'll meet real people that are really trying their hardest and trying to withstand some suffering and oppression. And I don't know. I've always found conversations with sort of like marginalized people or oppressed people like to be the most engaging.
well, I'm just amazed that they have the resilience that they do because, I mean, I know that my struggles are pretty trivial compared to a lot of them, and I don't really feel like it's worth it for me a lot of the time. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know what it is exactly that keeps people attached. I feel like life is kind of an addiction in that way. We're all just like looking for the next hit. It's kind of like rolling dice or something. Just like, come on, baby, like give me a good one, give me a good number, like
Totally. And I feel like a lot of the game too is deluding yourself. Like I feel like I've spent a lot of time in my life like deluding myself and being lied to by people. People say it's going to get better, or no one actually thinks that things are going to change. No one actually
Right.
thinks the world's going to become a better place. It's looking at it objectively and realistically, it's only going to get worse, I think. And
Oh, of course.
so
Of course.
I don't know why we endure. I don't know why we continue getting up, and I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just do it, I guess like because I am scared to take my life, but I also don't necessarily want to be here. I'm kind of waiting for the opportunity to have access to like euthanasia drugs. And that doesn't mean as soon as I have access to them that I'm going to use them, but just so that I have peace of mind. But yeah, I mean, maybe if I have the opportunity to get out of the U.S. for a little bit, or if something good comes along that makes life seem a little more worthwhile, then yeah, that could be something that keeps me here a little bit longer. I just haven't seen it yet. My mother like tells me, she's like, don't like, couldn't you, why don't you try and believe that, something better will come along. There is something good waiting for you out there. I'm just like, well, why don't I just start playing scratch tickets? It's just like, oh, the next one's going to be a winner, and most of the time it's just like, if you do get a winner, you never get anything that fucking actually pays back what all the money you spent on the scratch ticket, right? It's a sunk cost.
Yeah, I often find that when I attain something that I really wanted, I don't even want it anymore. It seems like all of this for this, like why did I do this?
Yeah, there's that saying from the movie Click. I heard like Christopher Walken says, he's like, you can, I don't know, I don't even remember exactly how it went. Something like, you spend all your life for chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but when you finally get there, you find out it's just cornflakes.
Yeah. It's
Don't get me wrong, I like some cornflakes with a little sugar on top, but it's not.
Kaczynski talks a lot about like life and civilization. You're just you're constantly living for the future. Like, life will be good after the college degree, after I get the job, after I get the promotion, after I get married. But he says when he was living in a cabin, like it was, he was living in the moment, and he didn't need any of that. He didn't need to be chasing anything, So I don't know, maybe less is more. Maybe it'd be good to get back to nature in some way. I don't even know if you can do that anymore. I mean, they've kind of like made it a lot harder. One of the things to me that makes Kaczynski such a sympathetic figure is he said that he was not politically minded. He was not driven to do anything, but he really just wanted to live in a cabin in the woods by himself and be left alone. And he lived out there in Montana, or Yeah, and he would hike to this stream, and he would see all this beauty. You still there?
Yep.
So anyway, he would see all this natural beauty, and they started destroying it. Miners started, devastating it, and in some ways, he was kind of forced to act. He did just want to be left alone in the woods.
Well, that brings me to an interesting thought, which is I was watching a documentary the other night about habitat destruction, and someone was explaining to me how if we just made a few of these different changes, that like the habitats could be restored in only in very, not too long, like not like in a pretty short amount of time, we could be restoring the habitats, right? The oceans and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I
And
don't buy it. I don't buy it.
well, even I don't either. I don't either. I think that seems really like wishful thinking, but I'm also wondering, I'm not saying it's good to destroy because obviously a lot of animals die and that's not good. But what, now that we are where we're at, I'm not saying we should continue to kill more animals in the name of clearing land or whatever. But let's say we could, if we were keeping things stagnant, what would the point be of restoring the habitat? Like, would that really be the ethical thing to do? Because
Yeah,
as it stands, well, as it stands right now, even the habitat that has been destroyed, there's not life there that can suffer, or at least not as much. So that's where my dilemma is. I don't know what the right thing to do is, and I just asked the question.
yeah. I guess for me, it brings up the thought that I feel like a lot of environmentalists, a lot of environmentalism is just about like preserving nature for humans. And I don't know. I feel like the capitalist desire, which is most of the human world now, the capitalist desire is to destroy that and to commodify it. So, if you talk about preserving that habitat, um, I think the only way to do it is to have a dictatorship, because the human desire is to extract and to destroy and to commodify. So
Yes, vegan fascism on the rise.
I mean, I'm just, yeah, I think the current ways we do things, that'll be destroyed anyway. So
I mean, isn't that, yeah, I think that's what the, like, a lot of the, I don't know if it's in a conspiracy or not, but like the Agenda 2030 thing is kind of like something along those lines of like, um, yeah, like, what do they call it? Eco-fascism? I don't know. Look, I'm confused about it, but yeah, I mean,
that is a term that people erroneously use. I mean, there are eco-fascists. I mean, there are legitimate fascists who feign concern about the environment, but their real concern is with white supremacy or with anti-immigration. So they're not actually eco. They're just fascists. Eco-fascism is not a real thing.
right. Yeah.
A red herring that the right can use.
Well, and then I know that there's this idea of a carbon tax, which is, I guess, just a way to charge people for breathing. That's the way I see it, anyway. Sure, some democratic, socialist, liberal will have like a whole justification explanation for why it's a great idea and how I'm, catastrophizing or something. But
Yeah, I don't support any like. This is where I'm like, I think at odds with a lot of vegans is like I don't really believe in like putting the onus on the consumer. Like most of the suffering and destruction in this world comes from corporations and governments. It's force. It's not a simple matter of changing your habits. It's not on the individual. I mean, I could die tomorrow, I could kill myself, and the world would still look the same way.
yeah, but it's like it's the aggregate. Like it works. It works if everyone's doing it,
Yeah, that's true of anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you gotta be there to create the ripple.
Yeah.
But I also don't know. I don't know why like that has to be like our burden to bear either. That's what sucks. It's like, yeah.
So now we're getting into the doom and gloom, dude. This is getting good.
Yeah, I started yawning. I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm starting to see the shadows are
The
becoming
serotonin,
more
the
apparent.
serotonin is gone. The serotonin's been depleted.
Yeah, I took that Klonopin a little while ago, and this is where the come down happens.
Yeah. Depresso. How many people we got in the chat now?
We got two.
Two
Uh,
people.
Two people. Feel free to the stream link is in the chat if anybody wants to come on. Um, I I don't know. I don't know what else to say, man. It's all been said, right? We could go around in circles.
Yeah.
Other than this is why people watch the news, because it's like it is all the same, but at least it's a different, slightly different version of the same thing. Like, oh, it's like someone new was killed today. you know, there was a disaster in a different part of the country. Um,
There's something about that kind of catastrophe though that humans are really drawn to. True crime is very popular. Like, Netflix is putting out shows about like serial killers and like all these like sort of evil figures, but something something really compelling about that to humans. Like, we want to know what kind of suffering is happening.
yeah, why? I don't know. Like, why everybody likes um, mafia stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Yeah. I thought about that too. Like, yeah, yeah, crime flick, bank robbery flicks, whatever, the Godfather series, like people love that shit, but like, the ideal life is just to follow all the rules, to just like live this really formulaic normative life. So, but we find the criminal or the person who like doesn't obey any of those rules to be very yeah.
It's kind of like liberating. I mean, it's dangerous, it's scary, but it's liberating. It's like, wow, I don't have to like, they're not going to like care about the same social um, pressures or whatever. I mean, like, I think about this all the time. When I was a teenager, and I was really scared, but like the way that that a lot of people that I hung out with dealt with disagreements and with gossip and all that shit was to fight. You had to fight or you didn't get any respect.
Right.
Like people like would beat the shit out of each other, you know?
Right.
And it seems pretty barbaric. And I don't think that that's necessarily the answer or the way that things should be done. I think, but what I respect about it is the confrontation. And I think there needs to be more confrontation. Doesn't have to include violence, but to say, okay, I'm going to say my piece directly and be honest instead of hitting the person, use brutal honesty. But brutal honesty is a very scary thing for most people. And what I think is, like, I see this in the activism community. One, you can never be violent in the activism community, or you're considered a you are a dangerous person. You're an abuser. I mean, there, you know, you're someone that they'll want to cancel. They'll say that, you know, that you're not compassionate or whatever they'll say, right? And you can't, yeah, you just can't be that person because you have to represent the whole community or whatever in a certain way. And then you can't use brutal honest. You could, but if you use brutal honesty, it still comes across as too aggressive. So the whole thing's very political, and I don't like the politics, and I'm guilty of it. I've been that person, and I'm ashamed of that. And yeah, I don't know. It's just something that really turns me off now, and is really like I don't want any part of it. Really, I wish I could go back to that person that I was trying to emulate when I was younger, which is the very confrontational, um, you know, no nonsense, cut the crap kind of person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the world values seems like the world values a person who's passive aggressive and dishonest, self-deceptive, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think that a lot of our interactions are just like social niceties and just like bullshit, just fluff. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of classist. I think it's like that is not how like working class people relate to the world, in my experience.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's not. I wonder about how um well, you know, like I think about the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing a lot,
Yeah.
and I I mean, I find it's strange. I'm at odds with certain people over this thing, or I was at the time, because there was people who were saying to me, yeah, like I asked them their opinion. They're like, yeah, well, you know, the whole talk shit, get hit kind of thing. Like, I'm like, really? Like that's how you think things should be conducted? My perspective is this: regardless of whether it was appropriate or not, if Will Smith thought that that was like a hurtful thing for Chris Rock to say, then, and maybe he wishes he had done this. I don't know. Walk up, like, because Chris Rock, oh no, here we come. Like, walk up, put your arm around him, say, hey, that was not a very nice thing you just said. Do you think it's acceptable to make fun of someone's appearance? Do you think it's a nice thing to do? Please apologize to my wife, because that's not, you know better than that. Embarrass him that way, right? That would have embarrassed Chris Rock. That would have been way more hurtful to Chris Rock's reputation than hitting him, you know? And that's my perspective. I see, like, we're taught, like, aren't we supposed to be like, we're, you know, you don't use your words, you don't solve your problems with like hitting. But then you have all these people saying, no, what Chris Rock did was a form of violence. They were saying Chris Rock was violent. And I know this is old news.
Yeah,
But I think it
no,
speaks to a bigger issue.
I saw a lot of justification for that from like people that, yeah, like unlikely people were justifying it, saying that the joke was violent, so you should hit him. Yeah, it was really strange. It was really strange.
And I think I almost use that as a litmus test now. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
see if I can trust someone. Do you think that Chris Rock deserved to be hit? Do you think that what Will Smith did was acceptable? They're like, well, if they take that attitude, like, well, Chris Rock was, they say anything about what he said being violent, then it's just like, it should be like, all right, we clearly do not see reality on the same plane.
Right, right.
And that's what I want. I wonder, like, if there's, I feel like, oh, there's multiple there, or I feel like there is one reality, and that, but like, everybody's so delusional, it's hard to figure out sometimes what that is. Like, we're all hallucinating this place into existence, kind of. So what is that reality? What's the real one, right?
Yeah, right, right.
That's
Yeah, we're
part.
all we're we're all experiencing the world with our own perceptions and our own biases.
That's like part of why, like, in a way, it's almost like everything has to be recorded now.
Yeah, yeah. There's a piece I read, Freddie DeBoer, about like call out culture and cancel culture, and he talks about like how cancel culture has all turned us into like spies. Um, I don't know if you read have you read that essay? Maybe I'll send it to you.
No, but I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. Exactly that idea, that we're now, everyone is a fucking secret agent, like, going in to do the get the dig on everyone else that they're in cahoots with or something.
Yeah, I think it's really torn apart. Like a lot of movements, a lot of leftist movements, anarchists. I think maybe the intelligence community wants it that way. They want people tearing each other apart and looking for bad behavior and exiling people. I think there's a lot to be said for like that kind of thing, like that kind of like COINTELPRO current.
Yeah, and I almost like imagine them kind of sitting back in their chairs in the briefing room or strategy room or whatever, being like, so should we send an agent in there? And they're like, no, don't bother. They're gonna tear themselves apart. Like, this
Yeah,
crew's pretty flimsy. Don't they're gonna.
yeah. There was a thing I posted a few months back, but it was like essentially like the left, sort of the left. It's not my job to educate you. Instead, read this like huge corpus of literature that suspiciously corresponds to what a humanities degree would give you. And then it was
Right.
like the right. Here's my pamphlet on who is and is not a human. Take 5 and give them to all your friends. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, hit me any time. So the idea was like the right is very welcoming, abhorrent politics, but very welcoming, and the left is like just like constantly trying to tear each other apart.
Yeah, I hanging out in Florida, I noticed that, well, just in the South in general, aside from like the hillbilly rednecks, most of the people here are a lot friendlier and easier to get along with. There is that Southern hospitality that you see, especially from the more right-wing people. And as stupid as they may be, it's kind of easier to get along with them.
Yeah, I always found that interesting. These are the people that hold all kinds of like racist and oppressive beliefs, and like their great grandparents or grandparents were like lynching people. But yeah, it is really weird when you interact with them on a personal level. They're like, whatever, I'm a white guy, so yeah, whatever. They're friendly.
Well, I see it in the black community here too. I think just across the board, Southern people. But yeah, I do find it interesting. Yeah, just anyway, any like Trump supporter is still gonna be like more friendly or whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, I talked about that in the writing. Like the left is kind of like, well, you can either read this huge corpus of literature, or you can navigate extremely complex social spaces that require like finely tuned intelligence to navigate, finely tuned social intelligence. And like, yeah, the right doesn't have any of those requirements. They're just kind of like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah. Um. Why is that?
Probably several generations of counterintelligence and counterinsurgency.
Really? On both sides or what? Like,
No, on the left. I mean, the right doesn't have any counterinsurgency, counterintelligence. They're all doing the state's job. But yeah,
I
the
see. Yeah.
left is the left. Going back to the Palmer raids and the formations of the Department of Justice and the FBI and the COINTELPRO era and the Red Scare, and you know nearly 100 years of history of just complete war on the left and on anarchists and socialists. And so there's going to be other kinds of psychological campaigns that they're doing.
Well, what's ironic is that there's a very like a lot of people see anarchists as right wing, and it's so weird, and it's just like,
Some of them are. Some of them are.
yeah, it's like and then in my opinion, both sides are just two different paths to the same conclusion, which is total tyranny.
Hmm.
That's the way I see it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean there are anarcho-capitalists, there are right-wing people who call themselves anarchists, but they're not
Yeah,
actually they're not actually anarchists, they're just libertarians.
right. I was actually just gonna say that, and I don't agree with hyphening anarchist with anything else. I think there's I'm sure people who watch my other videos have heard me say this before, but there's only one anarchist only means one thing. Anarchy means one thing. It means no rulers. That's all it means.
Right.
And anything beyond that, I don't know.
In my early year, I mean, I don't really read anarchist theory anymore. I'm much older, but in my early politicization, I was reading a lot of like Green Anarchy, John Zerzan, anarchist primitivism. And that critique always spoke to me, that you can't have technology as a social system. You can't have technology, and you can't have civilized structures without coercion and without division of labor and these kinds of things. So that was the stuff that I was reading when I got involved. This was like when I was 19, 20 years old. Was John Zerzan, Green Anarchy, Kevin Tucker, Green Anarchy magazine. So that's a lot of what informed my beliefs going forward.
I see. You're really well read. It's like yeah, I mean, you come from a generation, one of the last few generations or last generations where, like, yeah, reading was valued, and like being able to get through books was probably easier because you had a longer attention span.
Yeah, I think just in the past few years of social media, yeah, I think it has depleted my attention span quite a significant amount. And yeah, it's unfortunate the kids today can't read a zine, can't read theory. They're not gonna really digest a lot of this material. I don't know. I don't know. Like I try to give out zines and books and stuff, and it just seems like I can't even get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being one of those people that doesn't like to fucking read. And what makes it worse is that now on the computer on my laptop, it has a setting that it just dictates everything for me. So I don't even, you know what I mean?
How about an
Uh,
audio book?
yeah, I do audiobooks. I do audiobooks. Most articles that are sent to me, I just highlight and have the computer read it to me.
Okay.
Um, so
It's
yeah, I'm
almost
one
the
of those
same thing.
people.
It's almost the same thing as reading. I mean, you're still extrapolating information.
Right, and I'm an auditory learner, so auditory visual.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so most of the stuff that I've learned about anarchy has come from Mark Passio, Adam Kokesh, and Larkin Rose.
See,
And
I'm not familiar with these names, and my sort of feeling is if I'm not familiar with them in the anarchist milieu, they're probably right wing anarchists or ANCAPs. I don't know, but I don't know. That's
yeah,
just my.
I'd say they probably have a more right wing following. But the thing is, like, I think the main principles are the same, and they don't. The only annoying thing is that they're only like Mark Passio's vegan, but the other ones aren't, and that's
Oh,
really stupid because they're so well spoken and they hit the nail on the head. It seems when it comes to anarcho philosophy, but when it comes to veganism, they just throw all kinds of fallacies out there and just totally cop out.
yeah, I would say like with the green anarchist thing back in the day, it was very common to like eat roadkill or to dumpster dive meat or to hunt. I would say very few of those people I met from that milieu were vegan. Not to say it doesn't exist, but it was rare.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Rod Coronado was another influential figure for me. And sort of my early grappling with these ideas, and like he's not vegan anymore. Had a long animal liberation front history, and a lot of people were pretty upset that he's not vegan anymore.
Yeah. So what? How does that happen?
I don't know if he maybe values like he's indigenous, so I don't know. Maybe he has different views of nature and animals than the dominant white vegan community or whatever you want to call it.
What do you? How do you feel about the statement, or like that idea that if you become an ex-vegan, you were never really vegan to begin with?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Why is that ridiculous?
There's almost everyone I ever met in activism, and almost everyone I ever worked with, liberating animals or smashing vivisectors' windows or whatever extreme tactics we were taking to fight animal abusers. Almost none of them are vegan anymore. And I've talked about it, and people are like, well, they were never vegan to begin with. They were just plant based. And that is such a ridiculous, that is just comically ridiculous thing to say, dude.
But
I can't, I can't really flesh that out. It's just ridiculous to say my friends who are liberating animals with me and sabotaging property with me for animals didn't care about animals. It's
well, okay, then
absurd.
look at
People can change, dude.
yeah, but let's look at it from the perspective of the person saying that they never were vegan. What is what do you think that person means by that? What do you
I think
think
the
is
person,
their line of thinking?
I think the person that's saying that is communicating that I'm pedantic, I'm concerned with trivialities, and my boycott is more important to me than anything you claim these people did. So I
I
can't
mean,
relate.
yeah,
I can't.
it's like I guess it's the idea of like they'll say something along the lines of if you didn't like if they never made the connect if they didn't make the connection or something or like they never truly made the connection, you know, that animals are not should not be commodified or exploited or something. And maybe what they were doing was performative to try and fit in with a group or, you know, feel like they were a part of something.
It's definitely not true of Rod Coronado or people that were forming some of the most effective ALF cells in the.
Right, because they have all they say the right things, right?
What's that?
They seem to say the right things.
Who says the right things?
Like the people like that were vegan or that were doing the ALF stuff but aren't vegan anymore. At the time when they were vegan, when they were doing the activism, they had all did they have like the philosophy down? Did they I don't know, was that something that was even discussed much back then?
Um, I don't know. I think it's more of a recent phenomenon to be like, I'm vegan and I'm going to convert everyone else to veganism. I think like the activist currents I came out of were more concerned with like, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to be effective? Nowadays, I see like a lot of proselytizing, and I don't know. When I go to like these vegan outreach kind of events, I don't know. It kind of feels like church. We're going to go out and we're going to convert people one by one, by one by one. Like that's not where I was coming from. That's not what speaks to me. I don't know.
What speaks to you?
My history is direct action and sabotage, and you know, that was the stuff that spoke to me. That was the stuff that I saw as having the most urgency when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, reading about the ALF and reading about Rod Coronado burning down fur industry targets and sabotaging vivisection labs. And yeah, uh, yeah, I think it's disingenuous for someone who's vegan and puts so much meaning into their boycott to say that Rod Coronado was never vegan. I think that's like an offensive thing to say.
Roz B. Here in the UK, Animal Rebellion just freed some beagle dogs from this facility where they were being bred for animal testing.
I just saw that. Yeah, that was amazing. Also, 4 fur farms in the U.S. have been raided in the past month or two. At least one of them is closed. Lion Farms in Van Wert, Ohio, is closing on Friday after the ALF raided it last month and liberated at least 10,000 mink. So that fur farm will close forever now.
That's fantastic.
Some good news some good news in the bleak world that we live in. Sometimes, once in a while.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of dead birds. It's like it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't situation that these fur farms create.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nature is superior
Yeah,
to captivity.
I mean, yeah, like I would free them, obviously, but it's also like it's like I said, it's I don't I would free them deontologically. I would free them. I wouldn't free them from a utilitarian standpoint, you know,
Hmm.
because I think that they're going to end up killing more animals than were saved in the initial process of freeing them.
Well, they're not vegan when they're held in captivity in their own waste and filth.
No, that's understandable too, that they're still not vegan there, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm not saying not to free them. I'm just saying it's annoying thing to think about, that no matter what, it's just like tons of like it just the process of them being bred and put there is gonna puts so many animals lives on the line. Not just the mink. Of course the mink are the ones that are in captivity, but um it's just an awful situation all around. It's like you can't win.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really I don't know. I can't really understand the opposition to natural law or something like the animals that are innate predators. I don't really understand why you would. I've seen some of the stuff that vegans talking about how they want the predators to be separated or that all animals should be vegan.
Yeah, I mean, that would, if you could do that in a way that wouldn't like would result in a yeah, if you could do that in a way that would result in a better outcome for all of them, um that would, in my opinion, be the ethical thing to do.
Just sounds like a zoo to me.
I mean, perhaps it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be, with technology they might figure out ways to alter the environment or the genetics. I don't know what the answer is. It's obviously not that simple, and it's not something that we're going to have the answer to. That's why I have finally realized I am an ethicist. I believe that and that's also just like a mental masturbation exercise. It's like you just press the red button and destroy all of sentient life in an instant, in a flash. And that would be the correct thing to do. I mean, I don't think that anything's good about nature. I don't think like that it's a good thing that animals tear each other apart. Like, that's not good to me.
How many chat users we have now?
Still only got two.
Two
Come on,
people.
you lurkers, come into the stream. Show yourselves. I put
Yeah,
the link in the comments section.
let's do it.
Are you gonna come onto the stream? Or are you too god dang yellow?
So are you gonna take a nap, Nick?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it,
All right.
but I also have to use the bathroom.
Should we end the
I'm not.
stream or should we?
Wait. Rosby said something. I'm not an ethicist because although I lean towards atheism, I still fear there could possibly be a god. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm agnostic too, but it's a hypothetical. It's like the hypothetical is that if you press the button, all sentient, like there will be no existence of sentient life. So no one could care. Like if you're gonna burn in hell for an eternity for that, then that's still a form of existence. It's, so that kind of doesn't make sense. Owner says hello. Well, hello, owner.
Hello.
Roz B, though, if you want to come on the stream, or owner, if either of one of you want to come on the stream and tell us, explain your perspective. Tell us what your side of the story is. We would like to know.
Absolutely. We're just here wasting our time.
Yeah. I'm just laying here wasting time.
It's a good one. Good one.
Doomer on parade. Doomer. I'm an antinatalist ethicist, and I support veganism, but not practicing vegan for now. Well, you're not supporting veganism if you're not practicing. Oh, Roz B. Hey, Roz B. You're gonna have to mute the other video because it's gonna echo. Oh, that audio is terrible. We can't hear a word. You don't happen to have headphones, do you? Wow, yeah, the audio is just too. Yeah, try with the headphones because it's too the feedback. It's the feedback. I'm gonna mute her for now.
I personally like the feedback, Nick.
Oh, okay. It's it's kind of hard to listen to, but wait, let's get to owner's comment here. Owner says, I'm an antinatalist ethicist and I support veganism, but not a practicing vegan for now. What do you think of that, Berg?
It's confusing. I don't understand it. I don't know what he means. I don't know what they mean.
Yeah, maybe owner, if you want to explain what you mean by that in a little more depth, you can also come on the stream and talk about it. But all right, I'll unmute Roz B and see if the headphones worked. Hello, Roz. All right, the echoing's gone, but your audio is still awful. But let's see if it works. Well, I can hear you, but it sounds all crackly, like a high-pitched robot.
Something.
No, that didn't even come through. All right, yeah. I mean, it might be I don't know. It must be your computer microphone or something. Do you have like an older computer? Or? Yeah, that's probably what it is, because it's probably not matched up for the new like sound bus or whatever. But I can still tell that you have a British accent. I hear that. I don't. Joseph, you can understand her, right?
Somewhat, yeah. There's feedback that sounds like I'm listening to Jesus Lizard, but it's okay.
Jesus Lizard. She left. That's unfortunate. Jesus Lizard.
Good band if you like Feedback.
That's a band name or an album name.
It's a good band. No, it is a good band.
Oh, is it a real band?
Yes. Yeah. A
Really?
lot of feedback.
Jesus
All right,
Lizard.
Nick. Should we end it here?
Well, now you got me on Jesus Lizard.
Yeah, you got to listen to them.
Should I share the? I can share the screen. Jesus Lizard. Yeah, she did sound like Jesus Lizard.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for playing that.
Yeah, man. Rosby, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're not gonna get a new computer, you at least need to get a microphone. Owner said they can't come on the stream. But yeah, owner, I mean, if you're not vegan, how are you supporting veganism? I don't understand. You're kind of like one of them ex-vegan that was never really vegan, even if they freed a lot of animals. You know, non-vegans can free animals too. You don't have to be vegan to free animals, right? Right, Joseph?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
Well, yeah, I guess an hour and so she said Rosby says I used to be an ex-vegan who also had that ambivalence, but recently I've turned mostly plant-based. Oh, you turned mostly plant-based. I'm confused by this comment. like
Everything
Berg,
confuses.
yeah, Berg, you want to decipher this one?
They were vegan, then they weren't vegan. Now they're plant-based. Now they eat. That would be my best guess.
Maybe like when she went ex-vegan, she was like on the carnivore diet or something.
Yeah, possibly.
Could that be it?
I don't know. Yeah. I doubt it. I doubt that's what Rosby is saying.
Oh, okay. Rosby, what are you saying? I really feel badly that your equipment doesn't work because it would have been great to have you on here to explain yourself, but I'm eating mostly plant-based now. I did it in the past too, but I was omnivorous for 3 years. Okay. So you were eating the corpses of baby animals and slurping on their secretions. Yeah, I just said this. That's what those neurotic vegan zealots would say. They'd say, she was a baby eater. Yeah, I mean, they are babies guzzling the milk. She's a milk she's a titty sucker. Aren't you an adult? Why are you on the tit? Joseph, where did he go? What does that look like? Where is he? I see is he it's like a shed? Do you have an outhouse, Joseph? Is that where you went? I think he went to the outhouse. Oh, what a world. What a world. What a world. All right. Well, Joseph has seems to have abandoned us at his outhouse or whatever the hell that is. Oh, there he is.
In my backyard. What's up, Nick? What did I miss?
Is that an outhouse or?
No, it's just a roof.
Oh, yeah. A roof to where?
It's a roof to a house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what were you doing there?
No, I just went inside to get a drink.
Oh, inside your house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are you
But,
drinking?
Water.
Oh, that's it?
Just water.
Tap
What's
water?
up?
Tap water?
Just some tap water. Why?
You don't have a filter?
I generally drink bottled water, but
We got to get you a filter system, man. Or like a distiller.
yeah.
Who wants to chip in to get this man a countertop distiller? Let's get him one. That'll really help him out.
Why is that?
Well, because it's not good to drink all that sediment, you know?
Yeah.
Do you follow Vegan Semi Cypress 33? I think that is his name. I don't know who you're talking about, but I'll look him up.
If anyone wants to add me, I'm Joseph Buddenberg. I don't know.
Yeah, you should add him. Vegan _ semi _ Cypress _ Cypress _ 33. All right, I guess I'll follow this because it's a vegan channel. Should follow the vegan channels.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that channel with us, Roz.
Thanks, Roz.
He helped you change your mind. Change your mind about what? Aren't you still not vegan?
Nick, why? Nick,
Sorry.
our only viewer. Our only
viewer. The only interaction we have.
Alone.
Wow, I'm holding them accountable, Joseph. Don't you understand? I think we need to brainwash you with some Anonymous for the Voiceless workshops. You're being an apologist.
Hold them accountable for their violence.
Yeah, Roz, I'm holding you accountable. He did a little documentary called The Connections. He's a clever man. Well, he may be clever, but that doesn't get you out of being held accountable, all right?
This is our only viewer. So, fan,
Don't you
only fan.
when you wa- when you watch his content, don't you think what's happening to the animals is wrong? How do you feel about it?
God
Do
damn
you
it, Nick.
consider it cruelty and abuse?
God damn it.
Yeah, I think we lost her because we went from 3 down to 2.
God damn.
Drove her away. He helped me see that omnivorous eating isn't justified. I don't consider myself vegan, only plant-based. Oh, but so what's the difference then, Roz? What is the difference in your opinion between vegan and plant-based? She's still here. She says, yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you think the difference is. Wait, what's this in the? Oh, yo, you put it you put it in the private chat. I'll put it in the comments for you. That's his channel.
For all 2 people watching, subscribe.
I think a vegan is someone who considers it a central part of their life philosophy to not harm animals. What are you saying? You're saying that you're cool with harming animals? Is that what you're saying, Roz? You're saying you're an animal abuser? Or... Sorry. But plant-based is just that you broadly agree with most reasons for plant-based, but not very ideologically driven. I mean, so you don't think that it's wrong to exploit animals, is what you're trying to say? Because if you think it's wrong to exploit animals, and you want to avoid doing it as far as practicable and possible, then you're vegan, right? Now, the argument could be made is if as far as practicable and possible could be that we all become Jain ascetic monks. That's the argument. If I was not vegan, that would be the argument that I make, which is often the argument. And it's kind of an appeal to futility thing. It's like, you know, obviously I'm just doing what I think is the best of my abilities to be vegan, but let's be real, I could be a Jain ascetic monk and, you know, never drive and walk with a sweeper and beg for my food and have no possessions except a little pot, you know, and the sweeper and a loincloth. And that would probably be the most vegan existence that I could, that, you know, that we could imagine, right? Pamela's in the chat. Hello, Pamela. Whenever I see Pamela, I think of doing DNW's voice. Oh, Pamela's in the chat. Hello, Pamela. Like, I want to read the comments in his voice too. Like, I think it's wrong to exploit animals on the scale that it's happening on planet Earth. And what would his comments?
I can't say it. I'm so glad you guys can do it with a solid leg to stand on. Could you explain that, Pamela?
Wait, can you say that again?
I just read Pamela's comment. Could she explain that?
I mean, I don't think it's always wrong either. Like, I think if an animal's suffering, we ought to put it out of their misery, you know?
I don't understand Pamela's comment.
Well, no, Roz is one who said, wait, is this the one you're talking about? Oh, I can't say shit. I'm so glad you guys can do it with a solid leg to stand on. I think what she's saying is that she's not vegan and she admires us for being vegan. Maybe
Nothing to,
correct me if I'm wrong.
there's nothing to admire. He's a guy in a van, and I'm a guy that lives in an outhouse.
Yeah. His shitter is literally in his room.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You never
Yes.
never grew out of the prison life, did you?
No, I never. No, post-incarceration syndrome is strong.
Sorry to make light of that. I probably shouldn't. It's probably really like serious.
Oh yeah, everything is serious and nothing is serious. So make your jokes.
Glad you can have a sense of humor about it. I don't know if I would. I'd be pretty damn fucked up.
Well, at least I don't live in an outhouse, so we can just. I'll just.
Okay. So that was a joke. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Just everyone, just so you know, he doesn't actually live in an outhouse. Apparently, that was a joke. He was trolling. He was trolling us.
Right.
I thought his toilet was in his room, and frankly, I was a little jealous because I always have to get my ass up and walk all the way into the fucking Planet Fitness or the fucking truck stop bathroom or wherever I'm at just to take a shit, which is a little tedious. It would be great to just like literally roll over onto a toilet and then roll back into my bed.
So what you're telling all two people watching is that you do want to live in an outhouse.
It would, if it was like maybe like a composting, like, you know, and if I was the only one that used it. Pamela says, I've had children and it's very hard to get your point across when you already fucked up. Well, that's no excuse for you not to live a vegan lifestyle, Pamela. I mean, you don't have to buy animal products. You choose to. Sorry, I have to hold you accountable. Like, can't be apologists here. Can't be apologists here. No, sir. Roz said, what kind of vegan stuff can you eat in a van? Do you have cooking equipment? Yeah, I mean, I have a microwave and a sink and, you know, bowls and whatnot, but I eat fruit all day and then I eat starch for dinner. So I'll have fruit. I'll just eat like grapes and bananas and maybe sometimes oranges or whatever. I bought some peaches last night that are all right. And I'll just eat that stuff all day long, drink a lot of water. And then for dinner, I'll make like instant rice or I'll heat up like gluten-free pasta, or I'll make some potatoes or something and try and have it with some veg and sauce, usually like coconut aminos or tamari or whatever. Or I'll just go to an Asian restaurant and get rice and steamed veggies.
Very healthy diet here.
Well, it's always room for improvement. It's just simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been on the stream for almost 2 hours, an hour and a half. Should we just keep going until drop dead or what?
I mean, yeah, we have 2 viewers and they're, you know what, they're counting on us for entertainment. I find it incredible, to be honest, that anyone spends their time watching me talk. I am like, wow, that's how you know the world is fucked.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true. I think I may have been dropped on my head at birth. Well,
I gained a subscriber, so one of your people joined my YouTube.
Oh, good. I'm glad that happened. And I'll send you this video so you can upload it to your channel.
Yeah.
Ross says, I find the hard part of going plant-based is getting over this philosophy of you have to get lots of protein. Yeah, I mean, that's nonsense. You don't have to get lots of protein. Protein is not nearly as important as the media makes it out to be. They're just trying to sell you animal products and like byproducts. So yeah, I would not dwell on protein too much. Just eat enough calories. My advice, and I'm a personal trainer. I'm like wellness coach. Ironically, I at least I tell people what to eat and like what to do with their bodies. So if that's something that interests you, hit me up. I'll put my email in the chat. But what I often tell people, the general food advice I give people is high carb, low fat, fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, rice for dinner, or like starch for dinner, sort of a raw till 4 thing. Don't be afraid of sugar. Don't be afraid of a little salt, but avoid oil, avoid too many nuts and seeds, and eat enough calories. Eat, smash in the calories. Don't be afraid to eat too much. Eat as much as you want. Just eat the right thing. So Roz says, I think it is wrong to exploit animal. Oh, this is from earlier because I was trying to show Joseph's thing. Joseph's channel. Go check him out. But yeah, oh, let me put my say vegan equilibrium at gmail.com. Yeah, so
Nick, is that an agnostic front tattoo?
this, wait,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
is that what it looks like? It looks like agnostic front.
Can't really see it. Maybe.
Is there? I guess agnostic front has that on one of their albums, don't they?
I believe so. I believe so.
I don't know. I just saw it in like a tattoo scrapbook, and I decided to get it on a whim.
You're joking, right?
I didn't know what it meant or anything. I just thought it looked cool. Roz said I subbed to you both now. Thank you, Roz. Thanks for the subscription. Oh, we got Leo, Antonio Leo over here. What up? You've missed all the fun. We're just having fun over here. If you haven't subbed to Life is Overrated, definitely go sub to his channel because you get some amazing doomer content there. I mean, the doomer porn is hard over there. It goes hard. You really want some melancholy fucking pessimistic outlook on life. That is the perfect spot for you. And I tell you, I get my doomer nut off whenever I listen to Antonio rant. So go check out. You just subscribed?
Just subscribed. Yeah.
Roz B said, I've been subbed to his doomer porn since February. Yep. It's good stuff. He's very relatable. I don't know what it is. I always thought that Antonio reminded me of like some character from like a movie. I can't tell which movie though. Like it would be not that he reminds me of any particular character in general, but I think of the kind of movies like The Big Lebowski or like Office Space, or I don't know what else, like maybe even some, just something along those lines. He seems like a character out of one of those movies, right? Pamela says, you are vegan and anti-natalist. There's no one that can really argue your point unless they are naive, dumb, or narcissistic pulling the strings. Yeah, Pamela, and I think, it's tough because some people's ability to conceptualize things is not, we're not all on the same level of ability to do that. So I don't want to I don't want to paint them all with such a broad brush, but yeah, I think that there is a lot of defensiveness that goes on. He delivers it with a smile. Oh yeah. I gotta say, what is the deal? Oh, hello there. Well, hello there. Yeah, that's become a classic. I've even heard, I think that girl, Anon something or rather, I've even heard her start saying like the hello there. Like she has a Australian accent, but I think she's been influenced by Leo. Yeah, dude, I've been watching mad Office Space clips recently. I'm like, okay, I just gotta watch that movie all full through soon. But
You don't need
now
$1 million.
yeah. What would you do with $1 million? What would I do with $1 million? I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time. Chicks dig a dude with money. And I bet if I was a millionaire, I could hook that up. Well, not all chicks. Oh, yeah, but maybe the kind of chicks that would double up on a dude like me do. How about you? What would you do with $1 million? You mean besides 2 chicks at the same time? Well, yeah. Well, if I had $1 million, I'd do nothing. I'd just sit on my ass all day, do nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, huh? Well, shit, you don't need to be a millionaire to do nothing. Look at my cousin. He broke, don't do shit.
Stuff,
There,
man.
that was my
office. You know the screenplay like the back of your hand, dude.
There's 2 chicks. Thanks, Pamela. I'm not sure what it is you're referring to exactly, but is 2 chicks vegan? That's funny. If it's consensual.
Yeah.
It's like those people that say like it's like sometimes people, like, I'll literally hear an argument for like against veganism. They're like, yeah, you talk about being vegan, but I bet you eat pussy, don't you? Like, as if that's like not a vegan thing to do. like, oh, like gotcha, not vegan. Rosby said the sad thing is $1 million is only just enough to buy your way out of work for a few decades.
Well, I only have like 2 decades left, so $1 million is plenty of money for me. It's more than enough.
Yeah, you could definitely stretch $1 million. You live. Yeah. Well, we have 5 people in the chat. If anyone wants to come on, oh shoot, I
think I'm about to jump off, Nick.
Oh no, he's gonna jump off, which means we need people to jump on.
Yeah, someone needs to jump on so that I can jump off. Otherwise, I cannot jump off.
he can't jump. I'm not gonna let him jump off if no one jumps on. I put the link to the stream in the chat. So anybody wants if Leo wants to come on, Roz, you're having issues with your microphone. Pamela, you're welcome to join. Oh, he's at work. He's a working man. You know what? He's one of the hardest working doomers I've ever met. And he uses his channel as a healthy outlet for his frustrations there. Because I hate to work. I avoid work like nobody's business. I get panic attacks at work.
Abolish work.
Yeah. When was the last time you had a job?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It was in another lifetime.
Yeah.
In a past life.
Amazing. Look, we can get through life without working. Like, guys, we're prime examples, all right?
I live in an outhouse and he lives in a, that's all. That's the secret to life without work is either live in an outhouse or live in a van.
Or trying you're really living the dream if you can make both happen at the same time. What would I do with $1 million? I'd live in an outhouse and a van at the same time.
Yeah. All right, Nick, I'm going to jump off.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, well, let's do this again soon.
Pamela said she's skilled at doing nothing, but only went and fucked up whilst doing it. Well, I mean, I think that's a common theme. I'm kind of the same way, Pamela. If you only knew the ins and outs and details of my world, you would feel like you didn't do so bad, probably. Hotel Walmart. Do they have Walmarts in England? She's praising Leo. That's good. He deserves the praise. Leo deserves the praise. Everybody.
All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Have a beautiful day in this bleak world.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. Oh, Roz. Yeah. I think she's saying no to the Walmart thing. No, but she's actually saying no to you leaving. That's what she's saying. No, you can't. Right. You got fans here, man. You got. Oh, damn. There he goes. All right. Well, I'm not gonna stay on here and just listen to myself talk, which is what I was doing anyway, even when he was on. So, I'll see you guys later. Yep. Thanks for watching. And Hail the Grim Reaper. That one's for Leo. I'm not gonna say Hail Satan because I don't bow down to that bastard. Satan can suck my dick. But and you know, so can God too, and they're all one and the same. And you know, don't bow down to anyone. I say the Hail the Grim Reaper thing because I think it's clever, and I don't think like, you know, the Grim Reaper is like represents anything like devious or sinister or power over others or anything like that. But I guess it's all the same thing. It's all for fun. Admit that meat is good for legacy. I don't really know what you mean by that, but the meat of fruit is certainly good. You know, the word meat, as you see it in like the Bible, and it actually just means food. So it doesn't necessarily mean the flesh of an animal. Yeah, thanks, Roz. Thanks for dropping by, and you know, we'll do this again sometime. So actually, okay, I'm gonna do a little parody on Leo's thing. Chill, like await the arrival of the Grim Reaper and fuck Satan and fuck God too. How about that? That'll be like, that's like covering all the bases and being completely fair, right? Meat is good for taking that legacy. Yeah, that's funny. That's real funny. That's original. Hey, Antonio, that was pretty original, that joke you just made. I'm chuckling pretty hard in here. In here, I'm chuckling. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace.